In the grand tapestry of American sports, no single figure casts a longer, more colorful shadow. He didn't just play baseball. He transformed it. He was the ultimate showman, the larger-than-life hero who redefined what power meant in sports. He is George Herman, Babe Ruth. Born in 1895 in Baltimore, Maryland, George Herman Ruth Jr. had a rough start. His parents, working long hours, found him too unruly to control. By the age of 7, he was sent to St. Mary's Industrial School for boys, an orphanage and reformatory. It could have been the end of his story, but for George, it was just the beginning. The baseball diamond at St. Mary's became his sanctuary. There he was taken under the wing of brother Matthias, who saw beyond the rebellious kid and recognized a rare talent. He taught George discipline and helped refine his natural baseball genius, a genius that included both elite pitching and monstrous hitting. This talent was so raw and immense that he was quickly signed by the minor league Baltimore Orioles. When one of the owners had to file guardianship papers for the young prodigy, the other players started joking and calling him Jack's newest babe. The nickname stuck. In 1914, Babe Ruth was sold to the Boston Red Sox, and the major leagues had no idea what was about to hit them. For the first several years of his career, he was famous as a left-handed pitcher and a truly great one at that. He was a dominant force on the mound, helping the Red Sox win 3 World Series championships and posting one of the best World Series-era records in history. A pitching legend in the making. But his bat, His bat was something else entirely. The sound it made, the way the ball exploded off the woodite, was a force of nature. His manager realized that a rare, towering home run was far more valuable to the team and electrifying for the fans than a successful pitching start every 4 days. So, in a revolutionary decision, Ruth was converted into a full-time outfielder and hitter. This move was the single most transformative decision in the history of baseball. Babe Ruth's emergence as a slugger came at the perfect time. The sport was in crisis. Following the 1919 Black Sox scandal, where players were caught throwing the World Series, the game was reeling, stained by gambling and public cynicism. Fans felt betrayed. Ruth's powerful swing and his charismatic, almost childlike joy were the antidote. He transformed baseball from a strategic, small ball game of bunting and base running into a thrilling spectacle of home runs and slugging. He didn't just play the game, he single-handedly invented the live ball era, and America couldn't get enough. Then, in 1920, the most infamous transaction in sports history occurred. Babe Ruth was sold by the Red Sox to the New York Yankees. For Boston, it was the start of the curse of the Bambino, an 86-year championship drought. For New York, it was the beginning of the greatest dynasty in American sports. In the Big Apple, Ruth didn't just become a star. He became a cultural icon. The Sultan of Swat. The Bambino. He was the first athlete whose salary and larger-than-life exploits dominated newspaper headlines across the country. His home run totals were simply staggering. In 1920, his first year with the Yankees, he hit 54 home runs. That was more than any other entire team in the American League combined. By 1927, he shattered his own record, hitting an unbelievable 60 home runs in a single season. The Yankees quickly realized they needed a new stadium to accommodate the massive crowds he drew. So they built Yankee Stadium, a grand cathedral of baseball that quickly became known as the house that Ruth built. He wasn't just hitting home runs. In the booming 1920s, he was giving the working class something pure and spectacular to cheer for. The 1927 Yankees, featuring Ruth and the quiet, powerful Lou Gehrig, are still considered one of the most dominant teams ever assembled. Ruth was the king of the world, defined by his immense talent, his legendary appetite for life, and his surprising, gentle connection to children and the common fan. Ruth's career was packed with legendary moments, but none are more famous or debated than his called shot. In the 1932 World Series against the Chicago Cubs, the scene was electric. Facing a hostile Chicago crowd and a chirping Cubs dugout, Ruth, already with 1 home run in the game, stepped up to the plate. As the story goes, he defiantly gestured toward the center field bleachers. On the next pitch, he crushed a towering home run, sending it sailing to the exact spot he had supposedly pointed to. Whether he was truly calling his shot or just pointing at the pitcher. We'll never know for sure. But the legend itself perfectly captures his fearless self-confidence and unmatched theatrical flair. He didn't just beat you. He let you know he was going to do it. But even legends can't outrun time. As he aged, the larger-than-life lifestyle began to take its toll. His skills slowly diminished, and he retired in 1935, after a brief stint back in Boston, this time with the Braves. His legacy, however, was already cemented. He retired with 714 career home runs, a record that stood for nearly 40 years. But more importantly, he left behind a game that was completely different and infinitely more popular than the one he had entered. Babe Ruth's story is the ultimate American myth, a flawed, unruly boy from an orphanage who became a national hero through sheer, undeniable genius. He didn't just save baseball from its darkest hour. He gave the American people a reason to believe in heroes again, right when they needed one most. He was larger than life, a walking headline, a force of nature. He taught us that the greatest power in sports isn't just winning, but the ability to inspire pure joy. And that true greatness is often messy, exuberant, and always, always unforgettable. The Sultan of Swat may be gone, but every time a hitter sends a ball soaring out of the park, and the crowd rises to its feet with a collective roar, the game remembers the man who started it all. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey back in time, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next story. See you next time.